The gates of Windsor have long stood as emblems of absolute protection. Centuries of monarchs have relied on their walls. But for one prince, the fortress now feels more distant than ever. Prince Harry returned to the United Kingdom not long ago, quietly, briefly, and under circumstances far removed from the ones he knew growing up. Gone were the motorcades, the tightly controlled perimeters managed by British officers, the subtle yet thorough security network that once moved invisibly with him. Instead, this time Harry arrived under a private arrangement, a former working royal, a son of the king, and now, as recent reports reveal, a man at risk. What transpired over those few days did not make headlines at first, but within the circles that monitor royal safety, it was deeply unsettling. During his time in Britain, Prince Harry faced not one but two close encounters with a known individual classified by authorities as a fixated person, a stalker, as some would describe. The person was able to get dangerously close twice. This wasn't merely an isolated security lapse. It was a revelation, a sharp, flashing sign of the complex tension now surrounding Harry's role within the institution, and how distant he's become from the protections once guaranteed by royal duty. Welcome to Crown Verse, where Crown history isn't just about what happened. It's about what's unfolding now behind palace gates and in the shadows just beyond them. If you want to stay ahead of the stories that shape the monarchy, subscribe now and join us as we explore the deeper meaning behind the headlines. The facts, as confirmed, are as follows. Prince Harry visited the UK for a brief engagement, attending a public event and staying at a private residence. During that trip, two separate incidents occurred where the same individual, already known to the Fixated Threat Assessment Center, a unit that monitors persons obsessed with public figures, approached locations associated with the prince. On both occasions, the breaches were intercepted not by British police, but by Harry's private security team. No harm came to him, but the proximity was close enough to be considered serious. And for those familiar with how royals are protected, this raised immediate concerns. When Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties in 2020, one of the most controversial and unresolved issues was security. The couple believed they should retain full police protection, particularly while visiting the UK. The British government and the Metropolitan Police disagreed. Once they were no longer working royals, that level of taxpayer-funded security was, they argued, unjustifiable. Instead, Harry would be responsible for his own arrangements. That decision sparked a legal battle. Prince Harry offered to personally fund police protection without burdening the public purse. Yet, his request was refused. The matter remains tied up in legal wrangling, with the Home Office insisting that police protection cannot be purchased and that decisions are based on official threat assessments and public interest, not royal status alone. What occurred during his latest visit has intensified the stakes of that battle. In a landscape increasingly unstable, where fame collides with obsession, where social media fuels delusion, and where political discourse often spills into personal animosity, the line between attention and threat grows dangerously thin. Fixated, individuals are not theoretical. They are real. And Harry, once wrapped in layers of institutional protection, now stands at the edge of a legal gray zone. He is the son of the king. He is sixth in line to the throne. He is a former soldier, a public figure, a high-profile target. Yet when he lands at Heathrow or attends a UK event, his safety is his own responsibility. Some call it reasonable, others reckless. To grasp how striking this is, consider the system he once depended on. Working royals typically receive full protection coordinated by the royal household and the Specialist Protection Branch of the Metropolitan Police. These officers are trained in threat assessment, counter-surveillance measures, public shielding, and emergency extraction. They accompany the principal. They reconnoiter ahead. They know the terrain intimately. Private security, no matter how capable, cannot replicate those authorities. They cannot carry firearms in certain zones. They do not have access to intelligence briefings. They cannot enforce crowd control in public spaces. In essence, they operate around the protection perimeter, not within it, which is precisely where Harry now resides. The two stalking incidents, though intercepted, highlighted this gap. That the same individual approached him twice during a brief visit underscores how porous the system has become, and had something gone wrong, questions would not have waited. There is irony in all of this. For years, the monarchy has been accused of prioritizing image over protection, tradition over adaptation. Yet here, the very refusal to adapt, to acknowledge a hybrid royal's vulnerability, may have created the conditions for risk. And there's another layer. Public sympathy for Harry has always been divided. For some, he is the prodigal prince, brave enough to break free, to tell his truth, to protect his family. For others, he is the wayward son, privileged, ungrateful, disrupting sacred institutions. That divide now seeps into policy. Security, once a question of need, is now entangled in perception. Should the man who stepped back from duty receive the same protection as those who stayed? Does family connection justify state support? Or does stepping down mean stepping outside the shield? Harry believes the threat is real. His legal filings have stated as much. He has cited specific incidents: media intrusion, attempted breaches, stalkers, and public threats. These are not abstract concerns. They are documented. Yet the counter-argument remains that security is not a commodity. Allowing individuals to purchase state protection could set a dangerous precedent, turning policing into a privilege. Caught between these arguments is a man and a family moving in hazardous spaces without clear lines. One cannot help but reflect on the history. Prince Harry has lived through trauma. His mother's death in 1997, pursued by paparazzi in Paris, is not just a memory. It is the foundation of his worldview. To him, visibility and risk are inseparable. Exposure is danger. Fame is a target. And now, as he returns to British soil for official or private visits, that danger feels uncomfortably close once more. What remains unspoken is how the royal family itself manages these risks. Is there coordination? Is there discreet support? Even as public protection is denied, or has the institution truly closed the circle, leaving one of its own outside? In moments like this, monarchy reveals its paradoxes. It is at once familial and constitutional, at once emotional and procedural. Prince Harry remains the son of the king, still a royal by blood. Yet in practice, he is treated as a guest, and guests must provide their own security. The stalker, whose identity has not been publicly released, was intercepted. But what if they had not been? What if next time the breach is closer? What if the next visitor is not merely fixated, but fanatical? These are questions the palace may not wish to confront, but the public will demand answers to. So we ask, is this the cost of independence, or the failure of an institution to adapt to a new kind of royal reality? Whatever the answer, it is clear that the lines around protection are no longer solid. They are porous, and into those spaces step risk, speculation, and the weight of unresolved history. As for Harry, he continues his life abroad. He makes appearances. He tells his story. But when he returns home, when he walks streets once guarded, visits buildings once secure, he does so in a different world. And now we have seen how close danger can come. We will continue watching. If you care about the shifting boundaries of royalty, about how duty, protection, and identity intersect in this evolving monarchy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay with us here on